next war. My people gotta stay strong. Come together and we face storms. We can hold our dollar. We collapse their dollar. Incite our power. Take back our land. Hold back our dollars. Black power we stand. All of you depend on the next move. 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 Peace to the fam. 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 Peace to the fam.
All right, peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings. You already know what it is. Today, we're going to get into some of the conspiracies and what's going on. Excuse me. We're going to get into some of the things that's what's going on with this whole P. Diddy situation, the Jay-Z situation, the freak-offs. And I'm connected with Nepal Shaddai. She's been involved with the whole thing surrounding that. She's been around what was going on at the parties, not the freak-offs, just the parties, y'all. So make sure y'all get it right when y'all don't start saying Sonetta said. No, Sonetta ain't say anything like that. Anyway, peace and blessings to you, Queen. You want to introduce yourself to those who may not know you, for the new people that may be on board.
Peace, Sonetta. Peace to the HOK. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Namaste. Jambo. Ashe. Shalom. All the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light. Yes, Sonetta, I'm ready. I'm so glad we did this a while ago. We did this back in like 2020, but I've been telling these stories for a while. And I'm going to do more than just, focus on Diddy and whoever. We're going to go deeper and show you who's really at the top of this so-called cabal or this group. We're going to talk a lot about it. So hopefully people will take some of this information and, keep it and look out, do your research. Yeah. Thanks for having me here. Thanks for letting me do this.
Before we do this, I want to play a clip real quick. Not a long. I want to just play maybe 2 minutes of it and then probably come back to it and play the rest. Can you hit play right quick? Because we want to shout out the brothers on the video that interviewed you, Nepal. Let's shout them brothers out.
Oh, right. Of course. Real life street stars. Those are our brothers.
Real life street stars.
Yeah, definitely. And, that's another thing. Before Diddy got in trouble, I interviewed with them October, 2023?
Last time we was in Texas.
Yeah. And so people are like, oh, she's jumping on the bandwagon. There was no problem, no talk about Diddy and his antics and his illegal, alleged illegal affairs.
Before all of that stuff came out, and don't forget, I interviewed her first.
Yeah.
About a year before the stuff started dropping?
No, not a year, 2020.
Right. That's what I'm saying, about 2 years. So
4 years, Sonetta. It's 2024.
Yes. Damn,
Diddy got in trouble this year.
Yeah, and so you already know. So look at you. Soon as we did the interview, Nepal, right?
Mm-hmm.
This drops and it comes out, and sure enough, you right there. Now I want to also play some of the part where me and you, the interview with me and you did. So
yeah, I want you to do
play. Press play.
And I do want to say this though. When I did the interview, whenever I talked about these stories, they were like, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. Well, people like Sonetta and even, of course, real life street stars, they do their research. They have research teams. They vet information. I send information. I don't give everything out to the public because of whatever reasons, to protect myself. And so the stuff I'm saying, it's going to always be there and true because it's the truth. and things are just going to keep unfolding. Shout out to the people who are telling the truth, who are not on a vendetta against certain people, against Diddy, against Jay-Z, against Beyonce. Shout out to people who aren't in their feelings, who are just telling the truth because they need the truth to be out. I commend you. So if you're doing this, I would never, they had a lawsuit, a class action lawsuit against Diddy. I heard, shout out to our brother Dizali. Dizali was saying something that really was interesting. He's like, if I could go in there, shoot, I'd probably come in and say something happened to me. That's what a lot of people think. I know he was just joking, but what I experienced, and I have facts and information that I was there. I never would go in and try to do a money grab on it, which I could definitely have done. But that all comes back to you. I'm a strong believer in doing whatever you want done to you, do it to others. And I'm growing in that. So I would never go out here and tell any lies about anyone or anything. Now, somebody tried to say, oh, I'm protecting Jay-Z because I said I didn't see any children ever around. No, I have some things to say. I have a bone to pick with Jay-Z, a little tiny one, but it doesn't matter. And I also have things to talk to you about Damon Dash. He has no place getting in here trying to expose anybody. So with that said,
let me say this. If you didn't see him or doing anything, you can't get up here and lie. You just tell your truth, regardless of what all these suckers might say. You ain't defending nobody. You just speaking on what you seen and what you didn't see.
Right.
You can't speak on what you didn't see. So these suckers, they want you to lie. They want you to do everything they do. Anyway, play a little clip, play a little bit, and then we're going to get into some talking here.
Now, this is from 2020, and it's more than just, of course, Jay-Z. I mean, I've been around so many different...
For the people who may not believe her story, that's...
No, don't play ours yet. This is our video.
Oh, because you had it up there.
Yeah, we did this in 2020, y'all.
Yeah.
Show you. So, Nepal, play your clip first. Play the other one.
For the brothers in real life.
Yes.
Okay, so just giving you some background. This is me in 2023, before any Diddy stuff came out. I was talking to the brothers just about different things I've seen, and they were asking me questions. Shout out to Jonathan and the Real Life Street Stars crew. They were asking me questions, and I was just answering. Now, there were some times when I said I couldn't talk about Diddy. That's a whole different conversation. But there are things that I can definitely talk about. What is it? If y'all want to talk about NDAs and everything, any NDA that I would have ever had would have been expired by now anyway. So with that said, I think I already said too much because these people.
Yeah, let's go.
Let me go ahead and get that. Okay, let me share this. And here we are.
Like if you wouldn't eat the raw meat, you were looked down on, like, you're not, okay, we know who you are.
Okay.
But if you ate it, you were like, okay, you're one of us. You're part of the high class. But it was just bizarre.
Did you ever see like a baby goat back
You know
there?
what? Okay, I went to this party.
Here we go.
It was called Fancy Dress. I lived in London.
And as you see, there are my rimless glasses. I've had those since 2021. And I'm the one, okay? I'm the original. These are my glasses.
Think about nobody. Let's
With
go.
the other models, they made us dress as the Wizard of Oz.
Interesting.
And I was a Tin Man, but it was sexy Wizard of Oz. And then the other two girls were, the Lion and the Straw.
Yes.
So they drove us for hours. I can't even remember. I think I want to throw this out here and say Manchester, but it was in the woods at night. And then when we got there, it was just all candelabras, like all candles, no lights.
Yeah.
And we came in, I was young. I was like, I think I was 19, maybe.
No, that's another thing about me with my dates, y'all. My dates are so off. I have to really sit down. Wait, no, I need to clarify something. My dates are off because I have to really think about this time. So when you hear me say like my age, let me just clarify with that. I be throwing these dates out, but I will get the actual dates if I have to, if it comes down to that. But this is 100%, 110% truth.
Maybe 20. No, I couldn't have been even 20. I think I was 19. So I wasn't as savvy, but I came in and it felt off, and they were like, oh, they're here. Us, the three of us.
Yeah.
And the lady, this older lady came up, fancy dress, so we had on costumes. They all had on costumes.
Oh, wow.
So she brings us the wine, and I started feeling like weird.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
How was touring with the?
Okay, so that's enough of that. And
So
so
let's get into a little bit of our talk first.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, Nepal, because I've been wanting to do this for a minute. We've been putting it off because we've been having so much to do. So let's talk about Diddy. First of all, what kind of modeling did you do?
well, from age 12, I did first off high fashion runway with different groups here and also outside of Arizona. This is when I was 12. And then up to age 12, 13, I was with first I was with Robert Black, and then I signed to Ford Ford modeling agency, Robert Black. So this is stuff they want to dox. They're like, she wasn't a model. I was a model. There's thousands of models. So I started out actually with Al Noble Modeling, went to Robert Black Agency. This is all in Arizona. Then I went to Ford Modeling. And I also did it was like a tween kind of collaboration with Fashion Fair. So this goes way back, y'all, So Fashion Fair, I was, so they had like a junior division of girls that they actually sponsored. So I was a part of that troupe. I was doing runway, high fashion runway. I was modeling clothing, designer clothing. Then from age 13, 14, I started doing more print work. And I worked with a lot of photographers. I'm throwing out names now. Don't harass these people, but Bruce Talbot, I was one of his featured models for a long time. He does high fashion. Eat your hearts out, saying that I'm lying. It's time for me to start giving a little bit more information. Knowing the sick people, they will harass that guy, but he's very, very high up. He probably will just block them. So shout out to my friend Bruce. I haven't seen him for over a decade, but I was one of his featured models. And so from Bruce in Arizona, I started going to California first and doing modeling there. When I got to California, I'm in California. When I got to California, I started doing some acting. I wanted to get into acting. And plus, all the time, I was always dreaming of being a singer. Like I loved Whitney Houston and all of these different singers. So in LA, that's when I started getting into the music and trying to get into the music industry. And also I was acting and doing, in LA, I didn't do any runway. I did print work. I dealt with a lot of different ad agencies before I got signed to LA Models. And then I was signed to model with LA Models. With Click Modeling Agency, it was more like I was touch and go with them. They were testing me out before they signed me. And that's when I got my acting feet, so to speak. But really, I was also with an agency called Hollywood Actors. And then they got me a bunch of different extra work. I did, you named the movie in the 80s, I probably was an extra on it. And I was working hard to get my Screen Actors Guild position, get in the union. I finally did a couple of movies, some movies with Paget Brewster, Danny Trejo, Bill Sadler, a couple other names. I did those movies, and I had a couple small speaking parts. And I got my Screen Actors Guild position. I got my Screen Actors Guild card. So I was a professional. I never said I was famous. I never said I was rich and famous modeling, but I was definitely in the industry, and I rubbed elbows with a lot of people, and I fit a certain type of characteristic that was really desired, more not on screen, but off screen at different parties, different events, really nice galas, the Academy Awards, the the Latin Grammys. So I was really always around that kind of stuff. This is LA. So I gave you a journey from like me being young doing runway, and then going to LA doing print work and doing background singing. Also, I did a little of that, trying to shop my music and getting into acting. From LA to New York, going in that. In New York, I started doing high fashion again, and high fashion in New York took me to high fashion in Europe. So yeah, that's my background.
Yeah. What else did you do in the industry besides modeling and acting and singing and stuff? And who are some of the people you did backup singing for?
I did some backup singing. The biggest one was CeCe Houston, and on CeCe Houston, Bobby Brown's sister, Nene. I think I forgot her name. I used to know her name, but Bobby Brown's sister. And I did some, not with Whitney Houston, but I did some background singing on some tracks for Whitney Houston at Whitney Houston house. I stayed in her home for about 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. And I talked to her on the phone. I have a story about that with her mom.
Why you won't let me air our interview we did like 4 years ago with you writing and singing some of your songs? I think it's great, but for some reason you don't want me to air that.
No, it's just that I want to get the songs done perfectly and get them produced and put them out. They need to be updated. And also, unfortunately, we have a lot of criminals who gang stalk us. So it's important to protect.
Who don't know, Nepal's an excellent songwriter. She writes music. She is good.
Thank you. I was in LA. I worked for Rondor Music, and they actually had a bunch of ghostwriters. So I was a ghostwriter. I wrote songs. Sometimes they come to me and say, okay, this song that you're writing, it's going to be for Toni Braxton. I would write the song, get paid for writing it. And even if Toni Braxton sang it or not, I wrote the song and I gave it to them. So I have that. That is definitely something I did before too. I forgot to say that in LA while I was trying to get myself. And remember, this is back in like the 90s. So it wasn't like now how you can just go put your song on SoundCloud, or, being independent was really difficult. I was trying to get picked up by a label all the time from LA, even from Phoenix to LA to New York. I was always trying to shop my music, and I have a lot of information about that to talk to you. You want to talk about evil? Quincy Jones, may he rot in hell. He's a very evil man, and the way he acted with me as far as my music, I can just imagine how many women and men fell prey to him.
Quincy Jones, the famous Quincy.
Yes, Quincy Jones. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
So people say don't speak bad of the dead. Why? He was an evil man.
Do you mind me asking you? You said, especially the things he have tried to do to me. What are some of the things, if you don't mind?
Well,
how did he?
In LA, again, I told you all the stuff that I was into, like doing the acting and singing and doing some commercial print work, and I think I did like 2 music videos, but they weren't that great. So, but with Quincy, I met some very established people. One of the people that I met, I won't say his name right now because he's still an acquaintance of mine. I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. He didn't do anything illegal, but I just don't know if he wants to be tied into this. I have to ask him. But he introduced me to Quincy Jones, and I was trying to get signed. And Quincy Jones, when he met me, he immediately was like, okay, let's go upstairs and have sex. I have a penthouse up in the Mondrian. That's what you're going to do. And I was like, no, Mr. Jones, I really don't. And then I didn't even get to finish. And he just humiliated me. He just stood up in front of everybody and just like, waved me off. And he was like, well, okay, bye everybody. Like, basically, if you're not going to F me to get famous, then you're nobody. You're nothing to me. You're useless. And that is what Quincy Jones did to me. And so all the stories I hear about what he tried to do with Tupac, I believe it 1,000%. Because he was just about sex. He was just like, he was, to me, a predator. He preyed on people who really had dreams. And that's the thing about this industry. When you're young and you're looking at the acting and the singing and the modeling, you're pure at heart. You're like, oh, I really want to do that. All they see you as is something to use. And when I say they, talking about the ones who control the industry, they just see you as something to use. They don't care if you're talented. It helps if you're talented because they can use you longer, but if you don't satisfy their needs, why do they need you? So and it's even beyond Quincy Jones. I just named him, but it's beyond Quincy Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's go back to Diddy. How did you begin? Because I know we talked about it before, but how did you meet Diddy? How did that come about?
Okay, so I talked about Phoenix, talked about LA, but in between, and all of it is like kind of like with LA, New York, I'm like boom, boom, jumping from coast to coast. But for the most part, I moved to finally live in New York. And that's when I just was, modeling. When you're modeling in New York, oh, let me let you know something. Modeling in New York, I'd say even I've modeled in LA, I've modeled in New York, and I've modeled in Europe. It is like you are gosh, how do I say this? First off, you're super young, okay? You're attractive because you're modeling. And what you're doing is like giving this whole life of fun, like just fun. Anything you want to do, you can go there. Are you a model? Okay, you go there. You're beautiful. What agency? They literally would ask you at the door, what agency are you with? They wouldn't ask you for your ID at the clubs. They would just say, what agency are you with? And you just say your agency. They say, okay, go in. So when you're modeling in New York, it's like you have everyone looking at you like, oh, but that's a model. Oh, she's a model. They're models. Oh, they model with IG, or they model with Ford. They model with whoever. I'm just throwing the names out there. So it's like, elite. So what I'm saying is that's how I met Diddy, just going out, often meeting so many different people. I mean, I met so many people, and then I ended up meeting Diddy. No, take that back. Scratch that. I didn't meet Diddy. I was actually invited to the party by a rich, like a wealthy it was a white man. There were white people. That's what I want to throw out there. Like, it wasn't a bunch of Black people in the industry. It was white people who invited me to my first time that I went to the first Diddy party. It was all, and the white man owned the house too. That's what I've been saying. People don't want to listen to that. The house that was at the first Diddy party I went to was owned by a white rich white man, and white people invited me. So that's how I met him, through going out in the city, having fun.
Okay.
But to sit with him, go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish.
Sitting with him though, I didn't, ironically, I didn't, when I was at the parties that I went to 2 white parties and I was at one Halloween party that he threw in the city at Life. So at the Diddy parties, I wasn't around Diddy. I saw him, but I wasn't around Diddy at the Diddy parties. I was around Diddy at Life, not even at the Halloween party. I didn't even interact with Diddy at his Halloween party, but he loved to go to Life. Anybody who knows him that's listening, who cares about the people saying I'm lying? Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Diddy really liked Life, and Life was the bomb. It was really like an awesome club at the time. So there were certain levels or certain places you could be, some people weren't allowed to go in. Some were. I was one of them that was allowed. And Diddy was in there with J-Lo, and we were right at the table. I was sitting right next to J-Lo. She was getting extremely disrespected. That's my story that I've been telling for years. I felt so uncomfortable for her because Diddy was like clearly flirting with a man, a young man. He was not a child, but a younger man than him. And he was like licking his tongue out at the guy. The guy was putting his crotch in Diddy's face.
And this is when he was with J-Lo.
She was sitting right there and she was so angry. She was like,
this is when he was dating J-Lo, I'm saying.
Yeah, they were together. They were a couple. And I'm like sitting there thinking with my friends, we're like, ew, this is uncomfortable because he was disrespecting her. Not even just that it was homosexual. That wasn't the most of it. It was that, damn, his girl's right here. And he's like totally doing this right in front of her, like flirting with this guy and being sexual with this guy, to where she was just sitting there and we were just all sitting quietly and she was just getting angrier and angrier until she just got up and left. She just stormed out. She just left because she couldn't take the humiliation anymore. He used to be very abusive. Well, he was abusive when that was abusive what he did to her. And that always stuck in my mind before all the Cassie stuff came out, before people, I was like, he's an asshole. That's what we were saying. Like, but we didn't say that to her because she was just, kind of like, sitting there trying to think, God, I'm J-Lo, but this dude is just embarrassing me right in front of all these people. So that's the only time I ever sat at a table interacting with Diddy.
What were the parties like?
What party? Which parties?
The Diddy parties. What were they like?
You mean the white parties?
The parties you went to.
The Diddy part. Well, the Halloween party.
The crazy things you've seen at the Diddy party.
That's okay. There's too many questions. Let me just let you know what is the parties like. The Halloween party I went to was the best party I've ever been to in my life. Mm-hmm. Diddy parties were lit. Like that party was one of the best parties I've ever been to in my life, and probably the best. Like I said, just fun. Because everybody's there. Prince was there. I mean, I met Prince at the Halloween party. Everything was fun. Just beautiful people, fun, music, lit, energy up, like happy times, fun, laughter, no fist fights, just people having fun, happiness, love, interacting, dancing. It was never like, oh, looking at somebody, like, oh, I want to get you, girl. It was like, it wasn't like that. It really wasn't. Sorry that I'm not going with the narrative. I'm talking about the party. Now, I'm not talking about the freak offs. I'm talking about the party that everybody has seen on the news, on the shows.
Who were the people at the party that you could remember?
Oh my God. Everybody, you name it. Name anybody. Of course, Jamie Foxx, Leo, Denzel, anybody, Oprah, everybody who's been to a Diddy party, and they were lit. Now, as far as the white party, though, see, I talked about Halloween. The white party was more for me. The first one I went to, it was bizarre because the white guy, the older white man, he was like in his 50s back then. I was younger, I was in my 20s. And he was like, I want you to go pick up my BMW. It was like the most expensive BMW though. Y'all help me out. It was like, I don't know, 800 series or something like that. It was very expensive. And he's like, I need you to go get my BMW and I want you to drive it up to the Hamptons. Something's in my eye. He's like, I want you to drive it up to the Hamptons and come to this party. He didn't say Diddy party, by the way. Damn. He didn't say Diddy party. He said, I need you to wear white. If you can, if you would, to just wear white, or at least wear something white. And back then, remember, this is the 90s. It wasn't like it is now, like the internet, everybody knows everything. And I was like, I really did not know about Diddy parties. And so he's like, bring one of your friends if you want, or whatever, bring your model friends. So I went into this garage. They were waiting for me. They gave me the keys to this car, and I drove from New York City to the Hamptons. And when I got there, I don't want to give too much away, so that, you know, because I'm gonna hold on to some stuff. But when I got there, I will say this. Again, inside the party, I didn't see anybody. It was no black people. I'm not saying in the party. I mean, like when I drove up to where I was supposed to be, wherever part of that house was, it was a older white lady, some very, very, very wealthy white men standing with this guy who I brought the car for. And the lady came up to me and she started asking me, do I want some Coke? And I was offended by that. I was always really prude. Yes, the Coke will destroy your whole look, boo-boo. So no. So I was like, who are you? I was all stuck up toward her. And he was, so that what I'm trying to say is, it wasn't like a freak off, but it was just, when I got there, it was just a bunch of, he was white. And then they directed me to where I was, where I was going to be staying in the house. There was no freak off where I was, where I stayed. I know I heard somebody say she must have got freaked off because she stayed in the house. I didn't get freaked off, but I did stay there. I went and put my things down and everything. So then when I went out to the actual backyard where the pool and the bar, yeah, there was all black people, white people, celebrities. It was everybody. So
did you ever get a chance to bump into Jaguar Wright? Because I know she been there.
No.
Oh,
I don't think she was around when I was around, but I never saw her. No.
Okay.
I never met her. This was in the 90s. It was around, Tom asked, it was probably around, I'm going to say 99 to 2000, like 98 to 2000. Let's put it there. Like definitely was 1999. This is when this was going on. And the reason I'm pointing this out, I'm not saying, oh, it was innocent. I'm not saying that. I think that there were people being sex trafficked, and Diddy had something to do with that. Why do I say that? Because ironically, there was a party in Europe that Diddy, it wasn't his party, but he was present. And there were girls there, again, with these, I'm talking about these Caucasian people, and it's not about black and white, but I'm telling it like it is. These very billionaire, rich, high, powerful white men in Europe, and these high, like they were designers and royalty. They had these girls serving, and they were bare ass naked, like from Belize. They were all from Belize, and Diddy was there, but it wasn't his party.
Did they have on a string, or was they just
nothing?
Bare? Oh, wow.
Like a newborn baby out of the womb. And I had gone up to one of the girls because I felt bad. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry that they have you serving naked. And she got an attitude with me. She's like, I'm a model just like you. I'm getting paid from this. They flew me here from Belize. And so, yeah, that was the issue. That was the thing that sticks in my mind, because that was something that I was uncomfortable. So you say freak offs. That was one thing that I was uncomfortable with, seeing these women that were just like me serving, being waitresses, and they were naked. Like, it was weird for me. And that happened in Europe though.
Have you ever, being in the house at the parties, at the Diddy parties, have you ever went somewhere where you're not supposed to go? Have you ever seen something that you was not supposed to see? like in these rooms where the freak offs go? Have you ever witnessed anything crazy like that?
I didn't go into any rooms where freak offs go, but I did see some things. Again, we're talking about Diddy, but we have to go deeper than Diddy. I had been around people who were, I want to say, I can't say it around these people. I got to say it on another platform.
Right.
Basically, I saw people planning certain things, national things, something that happened to the nation. So, I don't really, I mean, there are things that I've seen that I shouldn't have seen, but it wasn't anything to do with sex. It was worse. It was even more
drugs and stuff like
drugs. That. I'm talking about terrorism.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Are the government and the industry, are the government and the entertainment industry working together? Do you think they work together?
100%. There's no separation between government and entertainment industry. They're all one together. Hollywood, everything they're doing right now is all, it's all with the, it works with the government, just like social media is now all controlled, mostly controlled by the government. It's hard to control people with their different personalities, different individuals. But yeah, the government and the industry are one. I think what's going on with Sean Puffy Combs is that he decided to try to get involved with big business. I talked about the ATF, like the alcohol, tobacco, and firearm division of the government. You can't do that. If you're one of the little guys, especially if you're a little guy and you're and you're African American, you're not going to be able to move in and start getting a piece of the pie, so to speak, of that industry. Anything to do with alcohol, anything to do with firearms legally, and anything to do with tobacco, and also the communications. I talked about social media, but yeah, I think that's what's going on. They're working together. They always do.
Very interesting.
Yeah, Open Minds asked, did Diddy involve kids at his parties? I never saw a child at any party I've ever gone to. So no children were there. Now, does that mean that he's innocent and that people are lying? Nope. I can only speak to what I saw. I never saw children. There was a French person where I saw a child and it disturbed me, but that wasn't Diddy. Nobody's going after that particular artist. Nobody's interested in this artist. He's a very famous French artist. I saw a child at that party, and I spoke up about it at the time, and people tried to tell me that it was his child. But and again, this was in LA. It wasn't in France, it was in LA. So that is that. So I would remember. That's my point. It would have stood out. It would have stood out.
Okay. Somebody said earlier, how old were you when Quincy Jones did what he did?
I probably was. That's the thing about the age. I know I was definitely in my 20s. 100% in my 20s. I wasn't a teenager. I was in my 20s.
Okay.
What?
I wanna open it up for the chat if it's all right.
I would like for people to come up and ask questions because, to be honest, all of this stuff about this is cap. Let me say this.
Don't worry about that.
No, I need people to be
out for a whole 24 hours.
Can I please speak? No, don't time anybody out for saying that. Please don't, because
one bad apple spoils the bunch.
No. It's not. I don't. It's not wrong for them to say that. It's just that they need to get their head out of the clouds, thinking these aren't human beings that other human beings interact with.
Right.
I mean, they interact with us. We interact with them. I was in the industry for a long time, and I saw a lot. This stuff I'm saying about Diddy, y'all don't even know. That's nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
We're gonna go deeper into it. And let me tell you something. I know I see you, brother, when you asking us what's up with them drones in Jersey. We'll talk about that. That's a total different topic. But they are not only in Jersey now. They are in the Bronx. They are in Manhattan.
Maryland.
Yeah, you know. So I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to speak on it, and I ended up looking stupid when it really comes out that these was some other crazy stuff. I don't want to go there. I'll wait until everybody come out and say their piece. So Nepal, I want to when we did our show 4 years ago, you gave up so much information. You gave up way more information. I would like to show some of that.
Well, because people want to hear about Diddy. There's not a lot of Diddy stuff besides what I've shared, but he was present at things that I saw in Europe, like that one party. He was present, and then he would be present a lot in the audience during runway shows and things like that. So,
yeah, yep. So, should I show a little bit of that or what?
Oh, when I was talking about my experience with
everybody.
Everybody? That was kind of fun. That wasn't really like, yeah. Okay.
That was fun talking about some of the people you met during your modeling.
Yeah, they're so mad that Denzel Washington actually was attracted to me back then when I was in my 20s. Like, they keep saying she wishes Denzel. I didn't wish. Let me say something. Denzel Washington, shout out to Denzel. He's an OG. I was on one, y'all. I used to, y'all think I'm stuck up now? Oh my God. I used to be so, I was horrible. But yeah, we could play that, talk about Chris Rock's weird ass.
I want to say this first. For the people who may not believe her story, that's fine.
No, this is 2020. This is 2020.
2020, y'all. Showing you that she been on this way before all this stuff started dropping.
I want to tell you that I know she's telling the truth. She sent me videos to my phone.
Can you not talk about that today?
No, I got to because this is important.
All right.
This is important. She would send me video clips where she was in movies. I seen it. I seen it. Yo, maybe she wouldn't mind if I throw up a clip.
No.
The one when you was doing the news reporter.
No, I don't want these people because you know what the sad thing is? See, if these were like just regular mainstream, they are sick. And you can get mad at me if you want. I love you.
Even look at that, hilarious. Wait. Even back then, there were sick people coming for me. It was sad. I was brand new. Oh, the same people who are doing it today were doing it back then.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
All right, but go ahead.
Sick. I have family members that I love that are sick. You're sick. You need to heal. I will not. Even me doing this interview, because I love you, Sonetter, it's kind of like it's helping them. Docs, all the people that just look me up. Oh, this is her. No. I can't put up anything that they can trace me. Or if they did, a lot of people have doxed me. No criminal record, no whoredom, never been a stripper, no drugs. Just really like what you hate, the stuck up, smart, a young lady who has some standards. But hey, I don't get me wrong. I will go off on somebody if they attack me.
Talk to us.
Cut this part out.
This is why I had to say I've seen
it. What? Come on now.
Let's get to the part where I don't want to hear about the doc. Let's not.
I've seen it. So, in your modeling career,
yes,
you came across a lot of celebrities. Talk to us and tell us the story of you and Chris Rock. Tell us about you and Chris Rock. This is real.
Okay, well, I don't want to make him upset, though.
He ain't going to even see it. Just tell him about Chris
Rock. Well.
Come on, keep it real with us. That's all.
These people don't like me. Okay, well, it's just stories.
Right.
But they're real. I'm not the only one with stories like this.
I know that's right.
I guarantee you, a sister that see this video, that was in the modeling agency.
Oh, yeah, 100.
She's going to say, oh, yeah, that's
him. He did that too.
I vouch for her.
Oh, yeah, 100. Okay, so I was modeling in California. I lived in Santa Monica, by the way. I had a condominium, a beautiful home on the pier. Well, by the pier, not on the pier, but off on the beach in Santa Monica. So I lived in California, in LA, and Chris Rock. Well, I modeled there, and by the way, shout out to the LA Models, great agency there when it was just getting started. That's around the time when I was there. So, and Click Modeling Agency as well. So I'm there, and then I modeled with another sister, a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, she was dating Bill Maher. And Sonetta doesn't know who Bill Maher is, but I'm sure a lot of you listening to this know who Bill Maher is. And he loves Black women.
Okay, so do y'all know who Bill Maher is? Nobody? Because this was 2020. Bill Maher's girlfriend, he loved Black women, and she did, I can't remember, we did something together. We might have done like a spokesmodel thing. So she's like, oh, I want to get you, I want to bring you in. I have some people to meet. So that was normal, because every time, let me just say this to everybody, that's all you're doing in LA. You're trying to get to know people, kind of like how we do on YouTube online with videos like clout chasing. LA compared to New York is different. With LA, everybody's hustling in every industry from coast to coast, even out of the country, right? But there's different types of ways. Like in LA, you were always trying to rub elbows with people who were above you, but you were pretending that you already had it when you didn't have it. And so when you're a woman and you're modeling and you look good, it was easy for you to rub elbows with people, because another model would be like, they want beautiful women around, because that was like also a status thing for men who had a lot of something would have pretty girls around. Or if they didn't have anything, they like to have pretty girls around as well. So what I'm saying is Bill Maher's girlfriend